Thanks for coming to AnimalCon 2022. Mind introducing yourself, saying where we can find you?
Yeah, of course. My name's Tyler Rugge, and you can find me pretty much on every social media platform. I use Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. YouTube is my main platform. And yeah, I just make a bunch of animal videos, mostly reptiles, but I have like everything, so.
What was your first love? Like what type of animal?
Well, I grew up with a parrot. It was a severe macaw. I still have him. His name's Gizmo, and he's like 30 years old. So I had him since I was born, literally. My parents had him a few years before I was born. And then I grew up with him, but I didn't really like him growing up because he was like not nice to people. He was a parrot, so like he kind of liked my mom, and that was about it. Once I was like in my teenage years, I feel like I started to appreciate birds more, and I really ended up liking him. When I was 16, my parents finally let me get my first reptile, and I got a leopard gecko. And then that's just like where it all started, basically. I fell in love with it and loved just the process of learning about them and taking care of them. And I wanted a bearded dragon, and then I got a bearded dragon, and then a ball python, and then like it basically just kept going, and here we are today.
When did you realize you could make it into your career to share and educate people about all these reptiles and animals you love?
So I started making YouTube videos, but it wasn't like with the intention of making it a career or even necessarily the intention of doing animal content specifically. I just wanted to make YouTube videos kind of as a hobby because I enjoyed the process and like editing the videos and stuff like that. So I started doing it just for fun. And one of the first videos I did was like meet all of my pets. At the time I had like 6, I think. And I just did it as a fun video because I saw some other people did similar stuff, and that was the one that performed the best for me, and people wanted to see more of my animals. So then I just started, naturally making more videos with my animals and videos people were requesting. It just started growing and growing, and people liked seeing my animals the most, it seemed, and I started to really enjoy making that kind of content. And back then there wasn't as big of a community as there is now, but now there's just like so many different people who are doing the animal content and so much variety. It's so cool.
What do you like to focus on your channel?
I would say I mostly make reptile videos just because I have mostly reptiles at this point. So it's just the easiest to keep making videos about that and all the different reptiles I have and what I'm doing with them and stuff like that. But there is some other random stuff in there too.
What's one of the coolest experiences you've gotten to do?
Right now, like the most exciting thing for me is connecting with everyone else in the community and going to things like this and like an ARBC. I just get to meet so many people who keep animals and all the different reptiles and just share the same interests with me, and it's so easy to connect with all these different people, and there's just so many cool people and so much to learn from them. So I think that's just like the most exciting thing for me is meeting new people and just getting to learn more about the animals.
What's your favorite animal to work with?
I would say one of the ones that I am enjoying the most right now are the different Europlatus. Like I have a pair of Peichmani, I just got an Ebanawi, I have Giganteus and Fimbriatus. Like I'm just loving the leaf-tail geckos. They're just so unique. And unlike pretty much any other gecko I've worked with, just they're so strange the way they move and the way they look. And their camouflage is so good and like intricate, and I just love them. So I've been working on hopefully breeding them, and yeah, they're just probably my favorites right now, but I love everything so much, and there's a lot more that I want people to work with too. And yeah, I'm just really excited about everything.
In closing, what's some advice you would give to people who are wanting to get into pet keeping?
The biggest advice, regardless of what animal you want to get, I always say that you need to do all your research. Obviously, make sure you really know what you're getting into, what you need, and make sure you have everything ready before you get the animal, like set up the enclosure, make sure you have all the temperatures and the humidity and all that stuff just on point before the animal even comes into your home, so you know that you have everything down pat, and just that way you won't run into very many issues, hopefully. And also make sure you have, like if you're getting a reptile or an exotic animal, make sure you have an exotic vet near you that you trust, because if you run into an issue, you want to have a vet available to you, and sometimes it's hard to find a good one that works with exotic animals or whatever specifically you might be keeping. And then lastly, when you're doing research, don't get your research from just one source of information. I always say try to like look at care guides are good, they're helpful, but don't just look at a care guide and follow it just that one guide. Try to talk to different people and get advice from just multiple different sources. There's usually a lot of different ways to go about caring for different animals. There isn't just one way that's the right way for everything. So just get advice from as many people as possible, and just it's trial and error to some degree too, but mostly just don't follow just one source because it could be wrong.
Thank you so much for giving your time for this interview, and
Yeah, of
excited to have
course.
you.
Yeah, thank you so much.